Alright, so today I'm going to work on the electronics on the car, get some of the wiring in the engine bay cleaned up, and for the turn signals and the lights and the side marker lights and some of the battery cabling to the starter cleaned up. So basically this wire here I'm going to replace with a nicer one, get it kind of covered up. That way it just looks better. There's probably nothing wrong with it, but just for me I want it to look clean. Also, all this wiring right down in here for the side marker lights, turn signals, all that stuff here. I want to get it cleaned up. It all runs through here, which I don't think I do anyways, need that big of a wire cover. Kind of clean some of that up. And then this big old mess here I really want to get cleaned up as well. This here runs up into the fender area, which is going to be a little challenging but doable. It runs up through here and it comes out underneath here. You kind of really can't see it, I don't think, down in there, but and then it goes into the car and goes to where all the switches and stuff where it needs to go. I'd also like to get this little area here kind of cleaned up a little bit more. Get that where it's all nice and tucked away, labeled, all that stuff. So what I've got is I bought some cable for the run from the battery, sorry, not the battery, but the starter to the jumper posts. I had some extra wiring laying around just in case I need it for anything. I don't think I will, but just in case. I bought these jumper posts. That way if I ever need to jump, I don't have to, because the battery's relocated. I won't have to, go roll the windows down or open the doors and all that stuff. I can jump it from out here. So, and I 3D printed this mount for it. So this will sit down in this area somewhere like that. And then I can just run a cable from this fuse panel here to here, and then I can run a ground to somewhere on a chassis. So I got that, 3D printed this. It's not too bad, pretty sturdy. These lugs were a lot bigger than what I thought they were going to be. I really thought they were going to be smaller, but they turned out to be pretty good size, which isn't the end of the world, no big deal. We got some different wiring to create new wires, because I have trailer wiring over there on the for some of the turn signals and all that stuff, so I want to get rid of all that and kind of do it with better wiring. Got some wire sleeving tape so I can label all the wires before I start cutting and moving stuff. I can label what goes to where. Got some lugs here, some connectors in here, so I can kind of clean that up as well. I got heat shrink. I got 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch diameter heat shrink. I shouldn't need anything bigger than that. If I do have some. I got one of these hydraulic crimpers for these lugs, so I got that. But Sharpie tape, different random splicers and cutters and all that stuff. So yeah, it should hopefully be cleaned up by the time I get done. We will see how hard it is to do, but I've been wanting to do this for a while. I can't stand ugly, messy wiring. So hopefully it turns out good. I think the biggest challenge of this is going to be this piece here, getting all this wiring fed back through and keeping track of what's what. That's going to be the challenge of it, because I cannot take this fender off because I wasn't very smart and I molded the side skirt. So there's not a lot that I can do. I might be able to take it off a little bit and move it back just a hair if I need to, but it's really kind of not going to do me much good, I don't think, because it's a solid rail underneath here, and it goes up into the rail. What I should have done is I should have ran it into the fender. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that, because there's nothing to cover it. So I don't know, we'll figure it out as we go on that piece of it. So we'll go ahead and get started, start labeling everything. right, so now I got to get these two here out, which I can't tell if there's a plug or if it's just wired into the solenoid or relay or whatever it is in there. But either way, it's going to come off. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get to now. Once this area is off, all this wiring right here that you see back here, that all should drop down and be ready to come out. Alright, so I'm going to take the wheel off and see if I can get this fender liner out, and hopefully I can see this rail along here. It might make it a little bit easier. So, knock that out real quick. Alright, so a little bit better view of it. So the wiring comes up by the headlight, comes into here. You can kind of see it down in there, I think. And then years ago, like an idiot, I cut out a big old square so I had access to the wiring. It's hidden under the fender normally, but whatever. So, and then it comes out right here. So it's a pretty thick piece of wire, or section of wire harness, so it's gonna be tough to pull through, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the coil packs out of this area here to give me some room to pull this out. Once I get it out here, I do not remember how I had everything wired underneath here, like where the harness is split off, if it's underneath the dash or what. Hopefully it's just right underneath here and I can kind of start stripping down the wiring and kind of redoing it. But so I'm gonna go ahead and take these off. I'm gonna label them. They are labeled leading, trailing, I think is how it is. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get these set up. Alright, got the coil packs out. So, alright, so here's where the harness comes out from up front. So I just got to try and get it fed through here. So that'll be a little bit of a, it's gonna be a little bit of a pain, but it looks like, I don't know. I'm curious what it looks like once I get this here unwrapped, of how I did that, if I just shoved it through and then terminated everything at that end, or what I did. I guess I could cut a piece of that end open and see what it looks like in there, and then I may not have to run this back through, which would be nice, but still a pain. Because this looks like all factory still up to this point here. So it looks like I ran, yeah, it looks like I ran everything through. I soldered it and pushed it through is what it looks like. Anyways, just from looking at this wire, these couple wires here. So all right, so I gotta try and get the harness pushed through there and then up and through this hole as well. That's gonna be tricky. I'm not sure how I managed to do that before, but I gotta do it again, just reversed. So that's gonna be a pain, especially with the fender on. Alright, so for this piece that's right up in here, hopefully you can kind of see that a little bit. It is this piece here. So it's one single wire that for some reason I ran, or one single bundle that I ran through this little section here. That's going to be a pain to get out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting this down this way to see if I can tear this back a little bit to give me some room to feed that wire through, because I don't think there's any way I'm getting this whole bundle through there. At least not up to this point. When it gets a little smaller, I might be able to. I'm gonna cut it from here down to here, where it gets a little smaller, and then hopefully I can get that little section through. And that's this thing's being a pain in the butt. This is a project and a half for sure. All right, so I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna snip this end here, snip this end, and label it. And then I'll be able to get this plug through properly. Because what I had done is I had just extended the wires so these two were together at one point. Or these two, sorry. So I think that's what I'm gonna have to do on this one, and then kind of see how it goes from there. Yeah, this isn't gonna be easy for sure. Here. I can snip this down here. Alright, so far I've gotten majority of the harness out. I just got this section here to pull through, but I've got to find out if I need to pull it all the way through or if it actually is just terminated over there. So hopefully I don't have to pull this section through. That'll be saving a lot of time. I still got to get this section here pulled through. I've got these 3 sections already clipped. This doesn't go to anything. Yeah, so that was a pain in the butt. It's been about 2.5 hours just trying to get these out because they're so tight underneath here. And the issue isn't the spacing all the way through. It's right here. There's like a little brace that only gives you about, I don't know, a ½ inch or probably about an inch of space to put stuff through. So obviously this harness is a little bit bigger than that, so it was a pain to say the least. So I'm gonna continue on getting this section here checked out. Hopefully I don't have to pull it through and do rewiring. That would be great. I'm debating on if I'm gonna pull this section through or not. I'm probably gonna have to, but hopefully not. So alright, so I got the wiring out. It's kind of prepped and ready to be rebuilt. I'm probably going to stop there for today. So I'll just make a part 2 or whatever for this piece of it. But here's what we got done. So this all goes to the other side of the car over that way. Right now it's all labeled, so all I got to do is start attaching the new harness and shift it across. I'm going to probably see how many wires there are, and if I can make it one connection from here and go across with the Deutsch connector, I will. If not, I'll break it down from there. And then I got all this. One is for the right hand side. This is for the right side headlights and side markers and all that. And this is the one for the fuse box. And then all this stuff will push back down in there and go out and done. So I'm probably just gonna clean up a little bit, this is all the sections of wiring that we're taking. I kind of got them separated so that way I'm not trying to dig around and figure out what goes where. Still got some cleanup to do in the engine bay as well, so took a little bit longer than I thought. I knew it was going to be a while, but it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take to get the harness out. But yeah, so until next time for part 2 of the electronics cleanup.